Straight ahead on 12 News, changes on the local restaurant scene. What's on the move and what's moving in our Business Matters report. Plus, a face from the Northwest Metro takes the early lead among Republicans' choice for governor. But first,
vote yes for me.
Osseo School Levy supporters make a final push to make sure the yes votes don't fall short. 12 News starts right now. Levy supporters in the Osseo School District say they don't want a repeat of last year's election. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Delane Cleveland. Next week, voters will once again face two levy questions. The first is an operating levy that will bring in an additional $9 million a year for 10 years. The second is a technology levy worth $5 million a year for 10 years. The district says together they will cost the average homeowner about $10 more a month. Last year, proposed levies failed by slim margins, and as Renee Bonneau reports, this time supporters are working even harder to win over voters.
Volunteers at Education Minnesota Osseo hope if the literature and bright shirts don't get your attention,
Yes for me.
little ones like Linnea Neldner will. She and her sister and parents joined about 70 volunteers Saturday to drum up levy support in the Osseo School District.
Educating people that, last year's didn't pass and that we've been cutting and cutting, and we can't go into another $8 million of cuts without doing serious harm to our students.
Last year, a proposed technology levy failed by less than 4% of the vote. The operating levy failed by less than 0.2%.
We've only done 3 houses so far, but they're all supportive, so that's good.
The Neldners hit the street to convince people to close that gap.
I'm also a teacher in the district, so I see firsthand the cuts that we've had to make over the last many years when we've had failed levies, and it's really important that our community supports this levy, especially because we don't want to make more cuts. Our kids can't afford that.
They're not the only ones canvassing the neighborhood. Somebody's been distributing vote no flyers that contain what the district calls misleading and inaccurate information. The district posted information online to counter the flyers' claims.
There you go.
The Neldners are ready to respond to them too. They hope by making this effort, they can get those extra votes they want.
I've got my 2 big reasons here of why it's important to vote yes and yes.
In Maple Grove, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
The Osseo School District expects lower voter turnout this year because this is a non-presidential and non-gubernatorial election. The levies are the only items on the ballot in the district. Election day is November 5th. Well, Brooklyn Park Police have a new tool to help find missing children and vulnerable adults.
The department is teaming up with a national organization that's called A Child is Missing to send out alerts. When a child or a vulnerable adult goes missing, Brooklyn Park Police say residents with landline phones will receive a recorded message. Police officials say the more people they can inform, the more likely a missing person will be returned safely.
And they in turn will then utilize their database and send out alerts through landline phone services that they've already got locked into place. Residents here in Brooklyn Park can expect a call from this company. They will provide preliminary information as to what it is that we're looking for here and why we're looking for a particular person that went missing. And we're asking that residents then just take a look outside of their homes, out of their apartments, wherever they may be if they get this call.
People without landline phones can also sign up to receive the alerts. For more information, go to achildismissing.org. And Brooklyn Park Police are looking for this man. He's suspected of credit card fraud. Police posted these surveillance pictures on social media that show him purchasing several items at several different stores, including a Target. If you have any information, contact the Brooklyn Park Police.
A popular pumpkin patch in the Northwest Metro is getting some statewide recognition for all the wrong reasons. 3 children became ill with Ecoli infections after coming in contact with cattle or goats in the petting zoo at Dean's Pumpkins in Dayton. 1 child remains hospitalized. The Minnesota Department of Health reports that people typically become ill from contact with farm animals by getting bits of feces on their hands. Visitors are always encouraged to wash their hands with soap and water after petting animals. The children visited in mid-October and became ill several days later. Owner Bruce Dean apologized and said in a statement that they have blocked off access to the animals in an attempt to prevent any further cases from occurring.
Representative Ryan Winkler of Golden Valley says the plight of Minneapolis-St. Paul airport workers is one more reason to boost the minimum wage. Winkler is the lead author of a bill to raise the minimum wage in Minnesota to $9.50 per hour. A report done by a Minnesota union group says aircraft cabin cleaners and other airport service workers earn an average of $7.73 an hour. Of those roughly 600 workers, many rely on government safety net programs that cost taxpayers $1.7 million. Winkler says a wage hike would help lower that cost.
A candidate from Plymouth is an early front-runner to receive the Republican endorsement for governor. At the GOP state convention over the weekend, Jeff Johnson received the most support in a straw poll. Johnson, a Hennepin County commissioner, received 35% of the vote. Another local candidate for governor, Representative Kurt Zellers of Maple Grove, finished fourth with nearly 8%. While straw polls in off-year elections aren't always reliable predictors in the endorsement process, they do help leading candidates line up money and raise support. Well, coming up, a longtime business on the move, plus new businesses going in.
That's next in Business Matters. And then a little later in sports, it's an impressive showing for the Benilde-St. Margaret's football team in the section playoffs.
But first, rain to go along with chilly temperatures in your AccuWeather forecast. We may even see a light snow mix on Tuesday. Plymouth-based Mosaic Company, one of the world's largest fertilizer companies, has announced a mega deal with a Florida mining company. Under the deal, Mosaic acquires a large mine near the Tampa Bay area. The cost, $1.4 billion. The deal actually helps save Mosaic about $500 million because now it won't have to build new infrastructure for planned mining operations in Florida. Well, a longtime New Hope restaurant is preparing for a big move to Plymouth.
Meantime, some new businesses opened their doors in Brooklyn Center's Shingle Creek Crossing. It's all happening on the local scene in this week's Business Matters report.
You know, it's so full of memories.
After 37 years in New Hope, the Sunshine Factory is 3 weeks away from making a bittersweet move to Plymouth.
Over that span of time, we've been a generational business for people. We've had families that have had their weddings and their christenings and their graduations and their children's weddings.
With their lease coming to an end, the Sunshine Factory will open its doors November 21st at this brand new location 3.5 miles west in the Rockford Road Plaza.
Here on the northeast corner, you see the fireplace.
A 120-seat outdoor patio with fireplace and a fire pit are all part of the new Plymouth spot. Finishing touches are being put on the new building, and a new kitchen design will allow the restaurant to add a few things to its menu for both longtime customers and the new ones.
We hope that after 37 years, we've made enough friends that we'll see some old faces and welcome them in, and so that's what we're hoping for. And then, of course, Plymouth is a big market, and so we're expecting to meet some new people and make some new friends.
Have a great day. Would you like to proceed with that?
There's another place to grab a bite in Brooklyn Center. Qdoba opened its doors Monday, the latest business to move into the new Shingle Creek Crossing development at the site of the former Brookdale Mall. It's the 12th Qdoba to open in the Minneapolis area, and it joins nearby LA Fitness, which opened its 38,000 square foot facility in September in the Shingle Creek Crossing development. Construction is underway on a Panda Express restaurant, and look for Foot Locker and 2 other mobile phone companies to open soon in the development as well.
Which brings some excitement for us. Things keep moving, things keep happening here, and it's good to see. It's good to see for Brooklyn Center.
Last month, the real estate group representing Shingle Creek Crossing told the City Council that the development is currently about 70% leased or pre-leased. Coming up, Hall of Fame honors for a City of Crystal employee.
We'll show you the tremendous honor coming up. But first in sports, Osseo, Maple Grove, and Wayzata are among the winners in the prep football playoffs. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back. Welcome back. John Jacobson joins us now with sports.
That's right. We're talking state tournament time, section playoff for football and state tournament for soccer.
That's right. Inside at the Metrodome this week for the state soccer after they moved out of the cold from last week. And continuing action today, and it is in the Dome this week for state soccer teams, both in Class A and Class AA. Play started bright and early Monday morning for teams in Class A girls soccer. The scores from this morning: Totino Grace lost to top-seeded Blake 2-0. Lydia Sutton and Lauren Kelly scored for Blake. The Bears outshot the Eagles 29-5 in that one. In the second semifinal, Benilde-St. Margaret's down to Mankato West 5-1 with 5 different goal scorers as the Red Knights move into the title game. Grace plays Mankato West for third place Tuesday morning at 10 at the Metrodome, while Benilde and Blake face each other for the Class A girls title Thursday morning at 10. Those teams tied 1-1 back in August. The state football playoffs continue Friday throughout the state. In Class 4A, Benilde-St. Margaret scored a big win at home Saturday night in section play. The Red Knights hosting Blake in their semifinal game. First quarter, Benilde's Nate Berry takes the handoff, runs it in from 5 yards out, and the Red Knights are up 13-0. That's the score after one. Second quarter, a couple of great cutbacks by Berry on this run. He goes 40 yards on this touchdown. The Red Knights are ahead 29-0. Benilde's defense does not give much up to Blake. Linebacker Mikey McGill wraps up Bears running back Marcus Berg for a loss. Benilde puts up 37 points in the second quarter. 6 come on this Peter Watkins touchdown run. Benilde-St. Margaret's cruises into their section final 56-7. The Red Knights play at De La Salle on Friday. In Section 2, Class 3A, Breck is no match for Glencoe Silver Lake in the semis. The Mustangs fall 55-12. Jake Studeman rushed for 242 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Panthers. Class 6A football is in just its second year in Minnesota. The 32 largest enrollment schools kicked off their section playoff seasons last Friday night. Highlights now from 4 quarterfinal round games, including Maple Grove hosting Anoka in Section 5. First half, Isaac Collins on the sweep scores with ease. Extra point is blocked at 6-0 Crimson. Later in the first quarter, the give is inside to Tahi Nomain, who powers his way in for the score. That gives Maple Grove a 13-0 lead. They go on to eliminate Anoka 27-7. At Osseo, the Orioles took on Champlin Park. First quarter, Matt Medke throws to Connor Kittleson. 35 yards for a touchdown and a 14-0 Osseo lead. They'd go up 21-0 after one. Medke completed 12 out of 13 passes in the first half, 4 of those for touchdowns, including that one to Josh Goldschmidt. Orioles win at 42-0. Totino Grace met Coon Rapids in another quarterfinal round game in Section 5. Second half, Lance Bennick takes the handoff and sweeps in for the score. Grace rolls into the semifinals with a 51-23 win over the Cardinals. In Section 6A, Wayzata was home to face Hopkins. First quarter, Jake Marsh throws to Keontae Johnson, 22 yards for a touchdown and a 21-0 Wayzata lead. Kyle Calavota comes up with a second quarter interception and helps keep Hopkins off the board. Royals did score once, but Wayzata responded with 2 second-half touchdowns, including this one from Austin Gordon. Wayzata wins, and they advance 35-7, the final over Hopkins. So now we're down to just 16 teams in each class, including these 6 in Class 6A. Friday night, Osseo will host Prior Lake. Maple Grove is home to take on Minnetonka, while Wayzata hosts Totino Grace. And we'll have more in the section football playoffs as the week continues, plus a look ahead in the coming days to Saturday's state cross-country meet.
All right, exciting times right now.
It is.
Thanks a lot, John.
Well, in Local Vote 2013, there are a lot of candidates running for 3 council seats in Golden Valley.
In all, 11 people are running for City Council, and we start by hearing from John Giese and Stephen Schmidgall. Schmidgall was appointed to the council last December to replace council member Mike Freiberg after he was elected to the state legislature.
Please return me, Steve Schmidgall, to the Golden Valley City Council for 2 more years. I was appointed to the council last December, have found it very gratifying, and would like to continue to serve. It's an exciting time for Golden Valley. Development of residential options and roadways is providing economic vitality and jobs in Golden Valley. The 90% approval of city services by residents will be challenging to maintain. A new, amiable, collaborative culture among the council, commissions, staff, and residents is consistent with my collaborative style of leadership. Vote for me, Steve Schmidtgall, on November 5th for the future of Golden Valley.
Hello, my name is John Giese, and I'm a candidate for Golden Valley City Council 2-year term. I am a father, successful small business owner, and also have volunteered as a commission member, foundation member, and currently serve as a master sergeant in the Minnesota Air National Guard. I am running because our city will have quite a bit of transition over the next 2 years with our retirement of the current city manager and other top management positions. Someone like myself is needed to choose our next city manager because it will shape our city's future over the next 10 to 20 years, and I have a keen understanding of that direction. So I ask for your vote on November 5th and invite you to check out my website at johngiese.com for more pertinent information. Thank you.
And coming up Tuesday on 12 News, we will profile more of the candidates running for council in Golden Valley. Up next, tennis, anyone? We serve up a special accomplishment for a City of Crystal employee.
And we'll be right back.
Employees with the City of Crystal's Park and Rec Department now have a Hall of Famer in their midst.
That's right. Crystal's Recreation Supervisor Marcia Bach was inducted last month into the United States Tennis Association's Northern Hall of Fame. Bach admits she was never a great player, but she spent more than 40 years helping parks across the country improve their tennis programs and facilities. She began working for Crystal 3 years ago, and the city honored her with a proclamation to acknowledge her induction into the Hall of Fame.
Years and years ago, I always thought this would really be cool, but really never thought that I would be selected. So it's really been a thrill of a lifetime for me.
Since joining Crystal 3 years ago, Bach has helped grow the city's youth tennis program as well as the senior pickleball program. And let me tell you, this is just a woman who's very passionate about tennis. She worked mostly with the city of Bloomington, but then she got this national job and just helped grow tennis all across the nation. It's just something that she's very proud of. She had some cool stories, too, about meeting Andre Agassi and driving him around when he was 15 years old and things like that. So really a great woman. So it's so cool to kind of have her very close to our backyard, so to speak.
Absolutely. I play a lot of tennis, and it's so important you keep those. No.
Yeah.
But it's so important that you keep those the courts resurfaced and kids playing to keep the game fresh, and it sounds like she's done all those things.
She has, and she stayed fit, and she recommends that as a form of fitness as well for people of all ages.
Sport for life. It's
Indeed.
true.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's all the news for now. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.